one.
Hey, welcome to the Nerdy News. Russ Rollins, Jeff Kaufman, and Ryan Holmes all here today. Nerdy News is basically everything that's nerdy we talk about. And we talk about it in detail and as much detail as we want. And we can complain about how bad DC is doing if we want to, right?
It's been bothering you lately. I think you didn't like the what do you call it? A preemptive strike the people who produced Joker came out with.
Yeah, 100%. It makes me mad that DC came out and said, hey, this new Joker movie looks awesome. You've got Joaquin Phoenix. He looks like he's doing a great job. By the way, everyone, we're not going by the comic books, and this is not a comic book movie. It's almost like thumbing their nose up at anyone who would like a comic book movie or thumbing their nose up at the story that already exists about Joker. And it came off to me as offensive as a DC fan, because I only wear DC.
Yeah, well, I'm rocking mine.
And you got the Marvel
I got
stuff.
the Iron Man going today.
And here's the thing, Jeff. You've got the Marvel universe, and all the Marvel watches are even better than the damn DC watches. I mean, I only got a little bit to choose from. You've got all these great watches to choose from.
I think Invicta, it's weird. I don't know if they created more watches, but the Marvel watches are pretty solid.
Oh, well, no, they created a lot more Marvel. There's a lot more Marvel characters. I mean, all DC, they've got Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman.
Aquaman.
Arrow. I haven't seen Arrow.
Green Arrow. Yeah, there's a Green Arrow.
Strike.
There's Harley Quinn.
Robin.
Joker.
Nightwing.
No, there's no Robin.
There's no Robin.
Yeah.
There's no Robin?
No, and I can't wear a Harley. I don't know. I didn't want to wear a girl's watch. I didn't wear a Harley Quinn. I don't think
the three Harley Quinns came out. One was two are girly and one might work in the middle. But the Joker watch was nice. The problem is it's way too expensive for an Invicta. They want $500-$600 actual, not like the BS where they say retail, but actual.
And I didn't want to support the villain. I'll be honest with you.
I don't have a problem with villain watch as long as it looks good. I mean, Deadpool used to be a villain.
But Invicta makes an incredible line of watches that Jeff Kaufman has. I mean, a bunch of them, and I love those. You're the one that turned me on to the Invicta watches, and now I got a little baby collection. Nothing like yours, but I can only buy DC because I have this weird thing where whatever it is,
You're a DC
I like to be what's the word? Where you loyal. I like to be loyal to what I love.
But you went to Spider-Man last week.
I loved Spider-Man. It was one of my favorite comic book movies. Thank you, by the way, Kaufman and Lynn and Jeff Kaufman. Got us the entire theater. We got to take a bunch of really cool listeners to go see Spider-Man Far From Home. And I liked it a lot. And it was confirmed that there was not a cameo of Stan Lee, and I think that is,
but no, they said there is a cameo at the end of it.
No, there's not.
No, there isn't one.
No, there is.
So
not.
People are thinking they see some old guy and they thought it might be Stan
Angel
Lee.
read something wrong. There is a in memorial. We remember Stan Lee, like something at the end,
a line at the end,
a line, but you don't actually see him. And I think he's been in all of them.
Old guy up, like just a crowd shot old guy that sort of looks like Stan Lee.
Boy, it was fantastic being in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, or a picture of him on the wall, or
deep fake him.
Yeah.
Deep fake him in there.
They should have done that. But and by the way, spoiler: we're going to talk about Spider-Man. So if you don't like it, you can listen to another one or whatever. But we're gonna talk about Spider-Man a little bit. What'd you think about the story itself? And the way, because we talked about this last week, where so they all died in Avengers, and then they come back 4 years later or whatever.
The people who actually died, when they bring them back, they're the same age as when they left 5 years.
That's
before.
how they solved the problem of him still being in high school.
It just so happens all the main characters all blipped out.
I mean that makes sense. I remember, that scene where Tom Holland was crying. I don't want to go. I'm scared.
The weirdest part I thought of that movie was just they kind of reference it in a comedic way and almost brush it off. But I would like to know what happened in those 4 years, how that affected the whole world. But I know it's a Spider-Man movie. It's supposed to be fun comedy, so they really can't cover that.
I mean, the weird thing is people moved on. They gave their stuff away. I mean, you were basically considered dead. So half the world is dead. So everyone took your stuff, and you come back and don't have stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Your bank accounts are empty. Your houses are gone. Your jobs are gone. I mean, they don't even, and everything's cool. It'd be like going, okay, we have the regular world. Everyone moved into your house and everything else. And then the 500 million, I mean, what is it? 2.5 billion people come back. I mean, that's chaos. I mean, you're going to have wars. I mean, Yeah.
You know what was
They
good
shouldn't
about
have done that. They should have just said pretend like nothing happened and everyone's back.
Not give it 4 years, like give it like 3 months, like amount of time where it's like you have the emotional, like, oh my God, they're dead. But not the time amount where like we're writing new laws and we have to deal.
They
with
didn't
all
have
of the
to do it.
copyright. Yeah,
They didn't have to do it for this to fix Spider-Man. All they had to say was, "Yeah, we're came back." They didn't have to say, "Yeah, this is 20." I mean, Avengers happened. That movie came out a year ago.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have really affected anything if they said, "Yeah, we're actually back at the same time, like nothing happened." And what happened is they did go back in time and fix it. So I don't understand why it couldn't be in that period of time.
What I like about this movie as well, and I think they do try to handle this a little bit in the other Spider-Man movies, but this one was really a big showed you his inner turmoil with, I just want to be a kid and I can't just be a kid. I just want to have a girlfriend. But because I have all these powers, I have to be Spider-Man. And they showed that fight the whole time. And I thought that was kind of cool.
The hard thing about is not the Tobey Maguire, but the Tom Holland character trying to be back to this kid again. I mean, your experiences change who you are.
Yeah,
we can agree with that. So he's been Spider-Man fighting crime, getting shot for a couple years now, and he goes to war where people are just murdered. There's death happening all around you, and you go, "I just want to go back to high school." You're not that guy anymore. War changes you. And what this guy has gone through, he can't be just this, "Hey, let's hang out with my girlfriend" anymore. And I know that's what they were trying to sell us, but would that realistically be who he was?
Yes, he'd be a horny 15-year-old boy, and he wanted to marry Jane. Yes, 100% he would be that. And he would be like, "I don't want to think about war. I want to go back. I want to bang Mary and Jane." MJ. And the girl they picked for MJ, not the stereotypical chick you would think they would pick to be Mary Jane. But she's a great little actress, and I find her she very appealing. Looked very good when she was on screen, like
Disney kid actress.
Yeah.
She was also in the Hugh Jackman film. Was it called The Greatest Showman?
Oh, was she?
I mean, yeah, she played the tightrope girl. They had this girl swinging around. She was with Zac Efron.
Okay,
so she was a Zac Efron love interest.
She was great in the movie.
Yeah.
The villain, obviously, it's Mysterio is the villain. If you don't know, Jake Gyllenhaal, and I think his name came up a couple times some time ago to be Batman, and I'm like, oh no, he can't be Batman. But then he took.
Hey, Patterson can be Batman.
He could.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
but Gyllenhaal, he seems to his face doesn't seem very Bruce Wayne.
He looked pretty good as Mysterio, though.
Yeah.
And of course, there's I'm not going to spoil this, but there's a big thing at the end that kind of shows you there will be another movie. And I love the ending. You got to stick around.
Serious.
If you're going to watch it, you got to stick around and watch the last two little, what do you call those things? Secret.
Post-credit scene.
Post-credit scene. Yeah.
I mean, what's interesting is this: how do you do a movie like Spider-Man? So why does a movie like Dark Phoenix bomb as bad as it does? And it's because this is what superhero movies fail at. They have to put some humor in it. Even a dark moment, like, for example, when Heath Ledger played the Joker.
Yes.
And they were going, "Oh, that was dark." It still had funny.
Comedy.
I mean, when he's dressed as the nurse walking down the street,
yeah,
there's an offense to that, but it was so funny at the same time. And DC has to remember, like, that's why Shazam was so good. I like Shazam a lot because there was humor in it. The new Justice League had some humor in it.
When the Joker did the thing about let me make this pencil disappear,
yeah,
and he puts it in the game. I mean, that was dark,
sick,
but hilarious.
Yes,
and it really, really worked. God, man, I really want this Joker movie to be well, but I'm afraid it's gonna.
I have a feel. I told you what I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be the Pulp Fiction version of Batman.
They're saying it's a movie that can be taken serious, not like a comic book.
I don't want to take my comic book movie.
I don't
seriously.
either. I want the Joker to be the Joker, and I want it to be a great comic book movie to go up against the Marvel movies and do well. But why do they do that?
Because there's somebody who thinks he knows better.
Yeah,
they want to do these. Oh, I want to make this movie with the Oscar winner, everything else. But hey, these movies are winning Oscars anyway. I mean, so you don't have to make them all dark and broody to get to where you need to be.
Well, Heath Ledger won the Oscar, but he had already passed, and a lot of people thought that they gave that to him. But I don't agree. I thought he earned it, but.
Yeah, I walked out of that movie when I saw him. I said, "That's an Oscar-winning performance."
Did you? Yeah.
And sometimes when you've seen something that you're going, "That was spectacular."
Would it be unusual for a different actor to win an Oscar playing the same character. You know what I'm saying? Like now we already have one actor that's won an Oscar playing playing the Joker.
Has that ever happened before? I mean,
I don't think.
I would assume with a Shakespearean character, maybe, but I've never. God, that's a good question. Has anybody won an actor for playing the same
role as another?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they're saying Joaquin Phoenix it nails this, and it's they're saying it's Oscar worthy.
I'm sure it's dark. I don't know if I want to see it though.
I know. It's making me
I'm
mad.
gonna go. And the sad thing is this: let's say we do one of these theater premieres where we bring everyone walks out of the movie depressed and angry. I don't know if I want to do that.
Well, I don't know if that's yeah. I mean, people can't blame us for letting them see the movie.
Oh, they'll blame us, people.
You're worried about that, aren't you?
Yes, I think when you do something nice, that's the problem. No good deed goes unpunished.
For those that don't know, with Jeff Kaufman, by the way, obviously with the nerdy news, Big City Comics has been writing comic books for a long time. When we do these movie theater events, and basically, he buys out the whole theater, and people get to go see him. He wants to make sure that he writes down every single name and makes sure that the names are on the seats, because you don't want people to get upset and to start arguing and get mad about not having the right seat.
People get mad at you.
Why spend the money to have a great theater party, a great event, if you're going to make people mad?
People are a little douchey when it comes to doing stuff like this. I mean, I wish they weren't, but people get mad at you and they don't quite. We live in a world where we are the most ungrateful son of a bitches on the planet.
Some people are. I mean,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. There are people that, give me 9 tickets.
I mean,
yeah. Give them an inch to take a mile.
Yeah.
I mean, I was getting requests for the movies. It was once we gave somebody tickets, they go, "Hey, is there any way I could get 3 more?" No. You get 3 more, you pay for the damn movie. That's what you do. I mean,
a lot of people think they're entitled to, it's free. I should get it all. It's for me. And I don't understand that mentality.
I do. It's a selfishness, but you're looking at a lot of things going on right now in our world, and they're trying to mimic some of it in the movies. And the way we want everything right now is based on who you support as president. I mean, like, for example, you're talking about The Little Mermaid. They introduce this actress, and she's African American.
Yeah,
and they say people are really angry. I don't think the majority of people are very angry. I don't even think a huge population is angry. I think people go, "Oh, we want people to be angry, and these are the people who are going to be angry, and these are the people who aren't going to be angry, and these are the people who are right. The people aren't right."
I think
first off, I got a 13-year-old daughter now. I don't really care. If I had a 6-year-old and I'm going, okay, I'm taking kids to the movies all the time, but do I care that The Little Mermaid is black now? No, I see problems. I see problems when you go to the Magic Kingdom and you're trying to figure out, no, that's not Ariel. That's
there's gonna be two mermaids.
There's going to be the African American version and the cartoon version,
and that's the thing.
Doing the Barbie toy.
I don't think people are angry. Angry is the wrong word. I think people are like, that's not the way I would have done it, or that's kind of weird. But I don't think they're mad. Who the hell can be mad because Little Mermaid's black?
Right. Like,
I mean, Mary Jane in Spider-Man was black. It's like, okay. Did it affect the movie?
No.
It didn't affect it. I could care less.
I just said I thought she was adorable. She wasn't the stereotypical girl. Very good point. Stereotypical girl that you would pick for MJ would be a white girl with red hair or something like that.
Yeah, but Spider-Man's a reboot. They want to do a remake.
But this is okay.
Well, isn't that Spider-Man's a reboot too?
Spider-Man's girlfriend in this one is black. Doesn't make a difference at all. She's adorable. She does a great job. No big deal. But I understand where people with the Little Mermaid, you grew up and you saw the Little Mermaid, as a kid looking one way, you got the Little Mermaid doll, and now it's totally different. There's nothing to be mad about. It's just like, okay, will this work or not?
I wanted to see a hot red-headed fish. That's just what it comes down to, man. If you would have told anybody in 1999, like, in 20 years, you're going to be real mad at the Little Mermaid.
Because they're going to make her black.
You'd be like, why? Like, I'm not going to tell you. You'll find out. Like, what?
Can you imagine some kid going, you know what? They've stepped over the line now. I mean, The Little Mermaid was terrible. I mean, if you want to go back to where it came from, it's a terrible story. It's one of those,
it's Danish
fairy tales.
It is Danish.
Painful kind of
thing.
It's
Danish. Yeah. It's from Denmark, actually.
It's an underage mermaid that's trying to hook up with a prince, and she loses her voice for it. It's very not female empowering of a story.
It's not. No.
So,
But they turned it around a little bit. But I just think, I don't know, man. Yeah, and then what sucks is, let's say you have the feeling, and you're like, gosh, it just doesn't work for me. I mean, I envision Ariel one way, and they're portraying her another. I don't have I have a problem with it. Automatically, people are like, oh, you're racist. Oh, you don't like her because she's black. That's not the case. That's not what it's about. It's not about being racist. It's just, and I don't care one with the other, but I'm just saying I can see from the point of view of some people, they grew up loving that movie. It's not what they expected. Doesn't mean they're racist.
I think it's a confusing world we live in nowadays because on one hand, they're saying, okay, we don't want this. They're, how do I put it? Without getting completely my ass handed to me. The issue really is this. White people supposedly can't be offended when they take a white character and they make them black. But if you did it the other way,
yeah, Shaft is now
like, for example, let's say
Ghost in the Shell,
and they're gonna Ghost in the Shell characters they go, well, that was Asian typically, or for example, like Iron Fist, people were upset that they didn't take Iron Fist, which was a Anglo character, and make him Asian. Yeah. Just make him Asian.
Are
we at a point now where we're saying, well, that character probably should have been this nationality or this gender or this something from the beginning, and we should change it? I don't really know what we live in, but I do realize what the big thing is this. And look at me right now, or whichever camera we've got on. It's real simple. If you're willing to pay for it, they will make it.
Yeah.
So if you want Casper the Ghost to be black, and enough people are willing to pay for that character, they'll go see it.
Originally I had a problem with, they were talking about making Idris Elba the new 007, and I'm like, and I truly felt like, man, come on, 007 is a white guy.
He's a fantastic actor, though.
Yeah. Well, I have come around on it. But originally, I was like, okay, no, 007, James Bond is a white guy from Britain, and so I was like, I just can't see that. But then as I started to kind of watch Idris Elba, and like, okay, I actually can see this now, and I kind of came around on that. But it has nothing to do with being racist. It's just I think things should try to be true to the original story. Was my
like, let's say tomorrow they go, guess what? It's not Patterson got killed in a train wreck. So we're replacing him with this fantastic black actor.
Oh, Batman as a black guy. See, I would have a problem with that.
But why?
And that makes you racist.
But why?
But because that's not what I grew up with. That's not what, as a fan, that's not what I'm expecting to see.
So why can't Batman be black?
Look at Gotham City. They didn't have any black people that were billionaires.
I've never seen him speak in tongues before. It's like, oh Lord, now you're stepping over the line.
Batman's not black, and that's what's making black. It's not. No, that's not the story. I mean, it's just like saying, okay, now a Black Panther is white.
Okay, I get it, but like showing diversity in movies and comics and TV is very important. And write all the characters out that are of multi-ethnic, multi-gender. Do what you got to do. I think it's what people have as the problem. Is exactly what you're saying. You grow up with it a certain way.
Yeah.
Don't change that thing to basically pander a little bit.
Exactly.
Is it pandering, or is it diversity for the sake of diversity, or is it because you go, this could be a good thing?
It's money. Everything's money.
Yeah.
Everything's
I don't know.
Pandering and money. It's pandering and money when you do something like this. Look at all the free press they got doing this too. I mean, like, you didn't even hear about Mulan until the World Cup trailer, really, because that
Mulan's going to be fantastic. They put a lot of money and a lot of effort, and I mean, it's going to be solid.
I think it'll be, and that's okay. But make your diverse character when you go changing stuff. It's not.
How did they change Mulan? Mulan's Asian.
No, I'm saying like with the Little Mermaid. It's not racist to go like, but that's not what it was when I was a kid, and I just wanted how it was when I was a kid.
Right.
And I think that's okay too.
If you're a parent and you want to share your character with your children as the way you grew up with them, I mean, but if you're doing it just because you're going, wait a minute.
I think a lot of people though don't try to ask themselves, why am I bothered by this? Like they'll just say, no, that's bad, and then people say, oh, you must be racist. You got to try to figure out, why is it you don't like the idea of this character's race being changed? And if it is that truly just because, well, look, I grew up watching it one way, and this is just totally going to screw up my fandom, then I think that's okay.
As a creator, as somebody who's written a ridiculous amount of comic books, I didn't realize how important diversity was.
Yeah.
And it's not because, that's not my politics are my own. It didn't hit me as much because I put gay people in books. I cover a lot of different areas, but I was in Savannah and I had picked up this Spider-Man t-shirt from Kmart, except it was the Miles Morales, which is the Black Spider-Man, and it's his symbol. Now, I would say maybe 1 out of 1,000 people might be able to tell the difference between the symbol between Black Spider-Man and White Spider-Man.
God, I don't know the difference.
No, nobody, unless you're black.
What's the difference?
And I was walking through Savannah. It's just a different design element. And I was walking through Savannah, and about every block, some black guy would lean over and go, "Hey, nice shirt, man." And I was going, "Oh, thanks, man." And my wife goes, "Nobody ever says anything about your shirts." And then it hit me. I'm wearing the Miles Morales Spider-Man. And it's because if I'm African-American, I have maybe 3 well-known black superheroes. And Miles Morales is one of them now. Black Panther, Miles Morales. I'm talking male figures. Black Lightning. But having a black Spider-Man, when you grew up just looking at white characters your whole life, is a game changer. You're suddenly going, wow, you know, there's something I can emulate. I can empathize with this character. And I never thought how important that was. But when 16 to 18% of the country is black, and they have 3 characters out of 2,000 comic book characters, it's hard. And I get it. And I think that The Little Mermaid, I mean, it was like when the Prince and the Frog came out, and it was Disney's first black princess.
Yeah.
It didn't do well.
No.
I mean,
I think it would do well. Another black princess would do great right now, though.
It depends on what the character is too. That character was okay. It was New Orleans. It was a certain thing. I don't know if people could empathize with it as much. But I think with, for example, Ariel, if you're talking, you know, Black Little Mermaid, will we feel for that character? I think it will cross boundaries that maybe the Princess and the Frog did.
Hey, do you think that's why DC made it when they did Justice League? They made Robot Man black. What's his name?
Cyborg.
Cyborg. Yeah.
Cyborg was always black.
He was always black. So that's the only DC character that is
Black Lightning, Cyborg. There's a version of Batman that was black. Come on, Jeff. They replaced Green Lantern. John Stewart was when they replaced Hal Jordan. He was black.
Okay.
I'm trying to think about the significant black characters that you get. Oh yeah, there's the girl with all the ambulance. She's on it's like a totem-like character.
So they have a handful.
So they maybe 5.
Yeah.
But I mean, Marvel has Storm, Black Panther, Falcon. But those were really racist characters to start. Luke Cage. Those, if you read those characters from the beginning, those are pretty racist. Not Black Panther, and not Storm, but Luke Cage. I mean, Luke Cage was an ex-convict and a disco. Sweet Christmas was his line, and it was. So
when you say racist, you really mean stereotype,
ridiculously stereotyped black characters.
Yeah.
I mean, that was Luke Cage's character. Couldn't have been more. He's in this yellow disco shirt with a fro and a tiara. I mean, it was. Oh my God,
is that bad?
Sweet Christmas was his line. That's what he used to. Sweet Christmas.
I like that.
But I mean, T'Challa was. They snuck him in because they said, okay, he's African, so he's not African American.
Yeah,
which was this weird thing because you were going, okay, but even Black Panther, the costume they designed it was originally supposed to be where you saw the bottom of his jawline.
Yeah,
but they couldn't do that because they didn't want you to think the character was black. So the character who drew them, Jack Kirby, would draw it without the mouse, and the inker would come in and ink the rest of the mask because Jack Kirby refused to do it. He said, "No, this is racist. You don't want to show his face because you don't want to show he's black." But Marvel made that happen for years and years and years. That's why he has a full face costume and not a half mask.
Black Panther,
and he still does.
Yeah, obviously when you open the book, you're going to see that he takes his mask off at some point, right?
Yes, but when people when you buy a poster, do you buy the Peter Parker poster or you buy the Spider-Man poster?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man. You don't see that, but I mean, they intentionally did that for years, and now I think it's a character design now that they don't show the mouth because the head looks better like it is. But the reason they changed the costume design was this: they actually tried to change his name to instead of Black Panther, they changed it to Black Leopard at one time because they didn't want to associate with the Black Panthers.
Yeah, I always.
But Black Panther character was first.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, you had these issues going on, and it's really strange when you talk about our world and how it affects comic books. But comic books has always been that way. For example, Captain America was created as a way to inform the U.S. about Nazis.
Right.
And that was Hitler in the face.
Hitler on the first cover. the first cover. So yeah.
Hey, I know one of your great loves is are the theme parks, and Walt Disney World being another one. Did you see that unfortunate, horrible, I mean, out of control
Jerry Springer episode, Disneyland, Jerry Springer, Disneyland.
Fist fight in Disneyland, and I heard about it. I'm like, I don't want to watch people fight. And then
you watched it.
Then they came on television, and I watched it, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's a family of about 5.
I was very confused.
Every part of that couldn't offend you anymore, and you couldn't turn away from it.
Here's the one dude punches his wife or his sister
in
the face.
Well, she spit in his face to begin with.
She did, but
I'm not justifying hitting a woman.
Okay,
but these women weren't exactly this was like the weirdest version of people that I would never invite to my house ever.
No, and they were all family.
Oh, were they? See, I watched it with the sound off, so it's very confused why they were fighting, and then it seemed like when somebody was helping. He would punch her in the face.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, he must be a girlfriend or something. And then he would punch the other girl in the face. I'm like, what is going on here?
I saw it when I saw it. They all knew each other. It was like
it's the one that falls down for no reason at one time.
Well, she was on a scooter thing, and she got out of the scooter. She tried to put the scooter in between them at one point, and she gets out of the scooter.
I got this.
Yeah.
And then when she falls in the most dramatic, like soccer player overacting kind of way, but it was real.
Oh, the favorite part about that is, and nobody, please watch it again, because this is the moment that just cuts me up beyond belief.
What's that?
The one guy's like throwing out, like, I'm like it's Joe Frazier, like he's going at it, and then at a break, he actually goes back to push the stroller. He was in charge of the stroller, stops the stroller so he can get in a fight, and then goes back to the stroller. That whole moment when he's in charge, you realize, wait a minute, you're the one in charge of the kids?
And the whole time you're like, where is security? It's a 5-minute video.
It's Disneyland. Disney World, they'd have 50 people on.
If you would have lit up a cigarette right there, they would have been on you. But no.
You lose a kid in Disney World, they'll have your kid in 5 minutes. Disneyland, I don't know whether it's California. It could be the people in California, the way they run it. But Disney World, if you had that code, they'd have 8 people down there. They'd have security. You steal a pencil in Disney World, you can't get out the door before you're getting arrested.
I got to tell you, I don't think I could tell you what a Disney World security person looks like. I've never noticed them.
They are Disney World. They're experts. These guys. It is the most coordinated, well-grouped security force. I think they should protect the UN.
Well, Disneyland,
they're fantastic.
Disneyland, take some notes from them, because that fight went on for I think 5 minutes, and these, I mean, they're punching. I mean, this dude's punching women. It's terrible.
Now, is Disneyland not on par with Disney World? Is it a little more janky?
No. The employees are a lot different.
Really?
You have a complete different mentality. They're completely unionized. In Florida, it's a right to work state, but Disney World handles things so much better as far as coordinated and everything else. I mean, like I said, if you lose a kid at Disney World, it's in the second they have it back. And I've actually been employed at Disney World for worked there for about 8 years.
Oh, okay.
And they are everything is perfect.
And you've lost a kid there before, I'm sure.
Oh, I lost Jacob.
They find him like
my son's on the spectrum, and we, after doing 19 rides, it was like I got off Splash Mountain. It was like 9:00. And I went to just tap my card to get the picture of him and I going down.
Right.
And I had him by a finger. And as I leaned over, I lost him by a finger and just kept leaning over. And then when I leaned back, he was gone. And it was completely black in around Splash Mountain, because it was like 9:30.
Yeah.
And I was knowing that my son could have ran into a lake, knowing this, I was so sick. And I contacted security. Within 5 minutes, I got a phone call, and they're going, he's here. He's down by Pecos Bill. We have him. We're going to walk him over. And that's how professional Disney World is.
Well,
now, Disneyland, they're on their own, because there's no – let me just say this. I'm a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
If I was in California – I'm the one state I'm not licensed in, California. If I was a California attorney, and let's say this guy who went in to stop the fight got hurt badly, I would sue the crap out of Disneyland.
They don't have enough security.
Because this is definitely negligent security. This went on for over 5 minutes.
Way too long. Yeah, some kid could have been hurt.
And that's
it was bad.
The family members, they're on their own. But if an innocent bystander got hurt,
I know.
I said this was completely unacceptable, and they need to review security immediately. Forget that the people. I don't want to say this in my opinion.
Yeah.
People like this are pieces of crap.
Oh yeah,
you're punching women.
Oh, yeah.
You're doing this. You have little kids. They're your kids. You know.
Well, the women are spitting on the men. I mean, they're all around.
You
the
don't
board.
care about your kids there. Like
Yeah.
for example, if I went to Disney World and somebody wanted to start a fight with me, and I'm with my children, my kids are the top priority. I gotta go.
Right.
I don't care about my dignity. I don't care about my spit on me all you want. If my kid could possibly get hurt by this, everything's off the table. I gotta go.
Ryan, you're breathing into the microphone like you are running a race.
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
I'm sitting there listening. You breathe into the mic.
I try to bring some ASMR to the podcast.
What is that?
Where you just whisper.
Oh yeah, we don't need that. That's
I mean, but stuff like that is completely. It's an unacceptable world we live in, and I think we're so outraged by stupid things. I mean, like for example, the soccer people are outraged over of these women stepping on our flag.
Well, no, they shouldn't even step on it. She dropped it for a second. Somebody picked it up.
The video is the woman's holding it. They go, no, let's take a selfie, and she throws it to the ground or drops it or whatever, stomples over it. And you know why? First off, I can tell you one thing right now. I guarantee she does not. Nobody's ever taught her. She probably doesn't have a military background. Nobody's probably explained to her that the American flag cannot touch the ground, or you have to burn it.
Either that, or she's so excited they just won another world championship that it wouldn't.
But I guarantee she doesn't even know that, though.
Yeah,
if we put a test out there and said, what is the rule if a flag touches the ground? I guarantee maybe 2% of the people in this country will say, well, you have to burn it.
Oh, see,
they don't even have to do the Pledge of Allegiance in class anymore. You don't sing the Star Spangled Banner. Everything's voluntary.
People get mad if you burn a flag.
They're doing it in front of the White House now. Come on.
I know.
You know why? Because the Supreme Court allows it, and there's not. And guess what? The flag is a symbol. I'm a veteran. I support your right to do something that outrages me. The same way I got to support free speech and everything else, and it should flow through all barriers. So
people mad as hell because she dropped the flag.
They're mad. They're mad because we should not allow our sports to become political. Because when a player gets up and puts down somebody who's in one party or in another party, you basically alienate half the people in the country.
Well, the
they don't care. It's like I don't care.
Part of the thought process could be, oh, look at me. I'm going to stand up and do what's right. And then the other thought process could be, hey, listen, I have this position and I feel strongly about it, so I'm going to use this platform to advance my position. And I don't think that's the right.
I don't know.
That's the right place to do it, but that's just me.
I kind of think when you're supporting your country in the Olympics, and people are going to say, "Well, you have a right to free speech." Yes, you do. But I can tell you one thing, and this is the one thing we forget. Are we at a level where the need for attention, even bad attention, is the point to it?
It's the biggest commodity that's around right now, Jeff Kaufman.
Attention.
The biggest commodity right now is attention.
People are licking food, Jeff.
People think they deserve
selling their own
attention.
bathwater.
They'll lick ice cream just to be on the they get a viral video. Everybody's got a podcast. Everybody's got
those podcast jerk-offs.
Everybody needs to be famous these days, and the biggest commodity really is attention. And it is kind of crazy to watch. And there are some people that don't deserve attention that really should be, in the dark and underneath some sort of a scummy table. I mean, there are some bad people that get attention that don't deserve it.
Well, we've what I think we need to give attention to is the Lord of the Rings television show.
What's that?
And they've spent $1 billion. It's going to be on Amazon. And it's 5 seasons of it. Wow. And they're filming in New Zealand right now. They're going back, and I wonder if it's just going to feel like Game of Thrones, if it's the same idea. Because the one thing
I thought when you said it, I thought Game of Thrones.
Here's the problem. Game of Thrones, there's a lot of talking.
Yes.
There's a lot. And that's why when you do the streaming shows, you can't have a lot of action because, Ryan, how much does action cost compared to 2 people yapping?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. They go, hey, we can't do the fight scene because we blew all the money on the dragons earlier. So we need to sit around and have the queen talk about sleeping with her brother.
That's why shows do bottle episodes.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
what's a bottle episode?
Bottle episode is in a season where you kind of have all the actors just in like one location. It's mostly
the bank scenes where the bank is taken hostage.
Yeah.
Or you're trapped in the basement.
Yeah,
that's what he means. That's cheap. They go, there's always, the bank. I'm trapped in a bank.
Yeah.
I'm trapped in a vault.
My favorite one is in Breaking Bad where they're just in the room trying to kill a fly. And that's the whole episode is just a bunch of dialogue. But it's because coming up, they need to spend the money on these action scenes. So they do a bottle episode. Still interesting, but you could when you know what it is, you're like, oh, they didn't spend any money on this.
Well, I think we talked about politics, but I think the most important news that has come out in the last month came out, and San Diego has extended their contract for Comic-Con for another 3 years.
Oh yeah,
so
really?
that I think is more important than some soccer player treading on a flag, because I'm actually going to be, if you give me a choice, hey, watching soccer players run all over the flag, they could have burnt like 8 of them, and as long as they stayed in San Diego, I'm good. But that's the intent. That's what they're saying they did, and I saw the video. I could care less. I'm going, listen,
it's a mistake, whatever.
Anytime you decide you're going to put the stake of how you feel about our country and the world onto a professional athlete, you're a moron.
I think some of those people that are grandstanding and screaming and hollering about it, just trying to make themselves look better. Oh, look how patriotic I am. I'm mad about the flag. You're not mad.
You're not mad.
Making it up, you moron.
People get upset, and I think this is if you. Oh,
what'd you do, Ryan?
I didn't do anything.
All right, Ryan made that look like he screwed up the podcast.
Oh, I'm not on.
All right.
You're not. Oh,
there you go. He did script.
Ryan kicked out your mic.
Yeah, my foot.
Are you back? All right,
my bad.
Okay, let me.
I was doing so
you
well.
got to keep the streak going, though, man.
Right, he's got to screw up one thing.
You got to screw something up,
guys. We haven't been recording this whole time.
Yeah,
I hope you know that. It's been really fun.
Oh, take 2.
I mean, anytime you really want to, an athlete. When I like an athlete, okay, hey, when you're on the court, I like you. When you're off the court, you're on your own.
When they're off the court and they're I don't know, just nice people. They seem like they're I enjoy knowing the personality of an athlete.
Let's say you had the best. Athlete. Let's say you had the best. Your knee doctor was the best doctor in the world for a knee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then later you found out he was a cross dresser.
Okay.
Would you even give a crap?
I don't care.
You know why? Because he's the best at this. You don't care what he does outside of his job.
I don't give a damn. Yeah.
And I think that's where we have to be. We shouldn't care what our actors do offset. And this is why gay actors can't come out of the closet, because we're so concerned about them as a person and not their work when they're actors.
Right. That's why I kind of respect and like actors and actresses that don't really bring it up. It's like, but if they ask, I have I'm gay or whatever, but it's not like this big point of contention, this big thing to make a big deal about. They hit us over the head with that a lot.
I think there's 2 areas of thought there. There's inclusion, and then there's the put it in people's face.
Yes.
And I don't know if there's a line. I mean, is there, when they do it, if they make a character too gay, and when I say that, I've known gay actors who say all the time that you're not acting gay enough.
Yeah. But if they make them too like over the top stereotype gay, then it's like
Modern Family. They really they uber gay these characters.
Yeah,
and then you have these great shows out there where the character is gay, and you're like, okay, whatever. He has a relationship, but it's not like in my office. There are gay people in my office. If this was a TV show, they'd tell the guy, "Hey, you need to
gay it up.
You need to be more flamboyant."
right.
And trust me, there's some weird. I worked at Disney 9 years in entertainment. I've seen some flamboyant crap, but never even on the level of what they try to force people to act like on TV.
Yeah,
they go, "Oh, no, you got to act worse," and I don't.
You gotta act worse.
That'd be like
act more gay.
It's like when they try to portray black gang members. And it's like watching an old episode of MTV Raps. You just don't want the stereotype to be the portrayal of what that relationship is like.
And we had that discussion when we were doing our writing with Jolly Jane, which is a book that we've written. As a matter of fact, the entire book is done now, which
Issue
is awesome.
4 San Diego comes out.
Graphic novel. And when we were writing it, there are black characters in it. And a couple of them are gang members, and some of the dialogue I wrote, Jeff was like, "I might be a little too stereotypical," and I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. We can."
Well, when an Asian guy gets kicked in the face and you say "Sayonara, MF,"
I still say that's fine.
I've come back around on that. That sounds fine.
Oh, you come around. You come around until you're reading the. You're getting hammered by it.
Jeff, it's the evil. Jolly Jane, who is a serial killer. If she kicks some Chinese guy in the face and says "Sayonara, MF," that's fine.
So what we're saying is she's racist.
She's still, you know what?
She's a murderer.
That's not racist.
No,
she's
a killer. There's a difference.
Sayonara is a word from his culture. It's not making fun of it.
This guy might be from the U.S. How do you know he's from Japan?
Because he was Asian.
See, that's the problem.
You can't use another language now.
I've said Jolly Jane, for example. This character,
our language is made up of so many languages.
This character's a serial killer. She's bad. She's everything else.
Mhm.
But she says something. She goes, I don't understand racism. She doesn't say racism. She goes, I don't understand why people would limit who they could kill. And that means that she wants to kill everybody. She doesn't differentiate between black, white,
is
whatever.
The same as a redneck's bumper sticker. I'm not racist. I hate everybody.
Yes. Yes. If he hates white people too, yes.
So
you can't be racist if you hate everybody.
So in your world, racism worse than murder?
Yeah.
Okay. That's why I was very confused.
We all have a code to live by.
Yeah, I get it. I mean,
what was it? When she I had her punch or hit or something.
No, Pablo. No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We're not doing this.
Take this, Pablo.
But
I see nothing wrong with it. He was Mexican. He could have been Pablo. He could have been Jose. Who knows? But she's like serial killer.
It's like when you do an accent. It reminds me. It reminds me of there was that. Judy Garland's was in a bunch of movies with this guy, Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney played this Asian character, and he plays this down. He's just yelling as looking like a crazy Asian guy. And what might have worked in 1950, we realize doesn't work now. It's silly. It's a stereotype. It's unnecessary. And I think her screaming out based on comments based on what somebody looks like and somebody else, it's unnecessary, because if she is just a killer, she just hates you for you. She doesn't hate you because you're from from this side of the border and everything else like that. And I think what happens is it's so easy to go in that direction. It's like when a stand-up comedian starts picking on people in the audience because the other people are happy that it's not them.
But I would say it's not. I think your terminology is incorrect. And here I am arguing with a lawyer, which is really not smart on my part, but I will try it anyway. You're saying that it's racist. I don't think it's racist. It's just stereotype. It doesn't mean there's any hate involved in that particular writing.
You're differentiating between ethnics on purpose.
And what's wrong with that?
Well, that's racist.
Sayonara is Japanese. I mean, were they not Japanese?
It's a different race. Racist means that you're looking at somebody based on their race.
No,
racist.
I thought racist.
Race is in the word.
Racist is more.
You're differentiating the treatment based on race.
I thought it was being hateful because of their race.
You don't have to be hateful. It could. I don't hate you. I just decide that you're different because of that. It could be ignorance. It could be easy. It could be something else. Racist doesn't require hate. Racist just requires you differentiating people because I don't hate him. I just think he's lazy.
I don't know if that's the case.
I mean, for example, if I don't hire somebody because of their ethnicity, I don't have to hate them. I could just believe that this race is lazy.
Okay,
so that's racist. Or that Jews are cheap. I don't hate them. I just hear they're kind of cheap.
So that's racist?
Yes,
those are stereotypes.
It's racism, though.
So saying, oh man, black people can really dance. That's racist?
Yes. You don't have to have hate to be involved in rape. You could just have stupidity. You could just have false beliefs.
I thought those were just stereotypes. I thought racist stuff was mostly hateful stuff.
Well, racism, according to the definition, is the belief that all members of each race possess characteristics or abilities specific to that race, especially so as to distinguish it as inferior or superior to another race or races. Well, so if you're saying black
inferior or superior,
well, I wish I could dance. I wish I was black.
And if your friends don't dance in it, they don't dance there. No friends of mine.
All right, listen. Next week, here's what's happening with the Nerdy News next week. Okay. Next week, I'm going to be doing. See, I need something to do next week at the Comic-Con because he's going to be the superstar there. He's been there before. He's the owner of Big City Comics. No, hardly anyone's going to know who I am in San Diego.
It's going to be so much fun.
I'm going to be taking my time to do the Nerdy News podcast. We're going to do some Nerdy News stuff on the YouTube channel. So our YouTube channel will be covering that.
Straight from Comic-Con.
Straight from Comic-Con. We'll get you as many interviews as possible. Let you see as much cool stuff as possible from Comic-Con. And when they dress up at Comic-Con in San Diego, it's not like MegaCon in Orlando. It's like over the top, right?
Listen, it's a myth. It's a myth, okay? The people who dress up at Comic-Con who are paying $500 to go in there, they specifically want to get on the news. They're going to be a little more high-end cosplay.
Okay.
It's a lot more high-end, and they're more about getting direct attention than just having fun, because the average cosplayer doesn't have $500. To go to San Diego is a $2,500 trip easy. So, you're not going to get all these kids who don't have a lot of money who like to dress up, and that's just their culture.
Mhm.
You're going to have like the high-end, wealthy cosplayers who can afford to go.
And for Comic-Con, there's always some sort of big surprise, right? That's one of the things.
Hall H is probably
H.
going to have a lot of different things that are going to happen. You're going to Marvel's having their big thing there on Saturday. I think it's around 3 to 5 o'clock or something, where it's going to be really cool, and a lot of stuff's and DC is right behind us. So when they bring people on stage, you're going to hear this people are going to leave our booth immediately and go running towards the DC booth to find out what's going on.
Oh, I might be with them then. That's cool.
Yeah.
So
where'd Russ go?
Comic-Con, it's next week. Now, Jeff will not be with us on the Monsters. Of course, Jeff Kaufman does
I go on Tuesday.
Nerdy News with us on Wednesday, and so you won't be there for that. But and then I fly out after that to go to Comic-Con. So looking forward to it. You'll be able to keep over this on the Monsters Real Radio YouTube channel. Anything else that we want to tell people about?
Jolly Jane 4 comes out at San Diego.
Yeah.
Schizo comes out in San Diego. We will be after we get. It depends. If we don't sell out, there'll be copies available.
Yeah.
We should have some left. I mean, we're going to do the 300 again. We're not going to make, that's the whole idea that we want it to be a limited book.
Yeah.
And when they want to get all the book and trade, they can do that. But
and trade means the whole thing together as a graphic novel.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I think that when I see that all together like that, that's going to be a pretty cool moment.
See, you're going to cause me a lot of anxiety.
Why?
I need it now. I need it now. Jeff, do we have the trade together?
I know.
I said, you know what you do to me.
That's what I do.
But
I'm excited.
It's a lot of fun. We're going to have a great
weird.
time.
It's weird to stay excited about something that has been around for over a year now, though. We wrote the story over a year ago, and you're still. And you told me this would happen. You said it. Listen, it's a waiting game, because now the second graphic novel, I've written half of it. And most of it has been already edited with Jeff Kaufman. So I just have another half to go for the second graphic novel. But it's like, there's so much time, you don't feel the pressure to start writing again, but we're going to have to start writing.
It's a little demoralizing. It makes you sad.
Yeah.
When you're so ahead of the artists, it makes you feel like, well, what am I doing this for?
Yeah.
And it's not the artist that's slow. It's just the process.
And I think if I keep writing, things might change. A year from now,
I could die.
Yeah, you could die. I mean, who knows what the hell happens? So if you want to get hold of Jeff Kaufman, it's bigcitycomics.com. That's bigcitycomics.com. Also, Jeff Kaufman is an attorney, and an amazing attorney at that, by the way. And if they want to get hold of you,
if you fell down or got in a car accident, give me a call. It's at bigcitycomics.com.
There you go. All right. And
I'm sorry. I almost did what you did the other day. It's whenyouneedus.com.
I'm afraid to pull the trigger now because I made that mistake. Vote for Ryan Holmes for the best comedian in Orlando with the Orlando. It's the Orlando Weekly. You can vote, and also best trivia man. What
that makes it sound like a superhero.
I know.
Like, here comes trivia man.
What is the actual category? Because I keep calling it best trivia.
What are 5 words for penis?
What is it?
Best trivia host.
Best trivia host. All right, there you go. You could vote there. Vote for
Mary Ellen and Team Monsters doing great today. Go ahead, Mary Ellen. Woo!
You could also when you go and vote, you can vote for Monsters Real Radio. You can vote for Carlos. All kinds of voting there for the Orlando Weekly. We'll love to see that happen. And that's pretty it.
That's all, folks.
We're ready for next week for Comic-Con. So make sure you keep checking for our podcast. We're going to put a bunch of them up and
enjoy our nonsense.
All right.